everyone, it's Laura Alcantar here. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to encapsulate powdered herb. So here today I've got all my components set up. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some vinyl gloves. Just obviously I don't want to be touching these capsules with my fingers. Okay, so once I have my vinyl gloves on, the things I'm going to be using, I have my personal encapsulator. Mine is a real cheapy, easy one called the Capsule Machine. I think it costs about $20. You can find it online. And the parts it comes with, here's the bottom and the top. See, this is what they look like on their sides. So the bottom of the capsule, the gelatin or vegetarian capsule, whatever you're using, will go in this side, and the top will go in this side. I use the 00 size, and mine happen to be gelatin. Some people do vegetarian. That's just one of the brands now that sells these capsules. I've had pretty good luck with those. They always pretty much stay intact. They don't collapse so easily, so I like them. And the 00 fits quite a bit of medicine in it, so that's the size I like to use so that the dosages, as far as how many capsules a client has to take, can be lower. So what I do to get started, I dump a bunch of the capsules empty in one bowl. I put together my powdered formula in another bowl. So this formula happens to be like a heat reducing or pitta reducing formula for a client. It's more of a digestive formula. And then you'll see the finished product looks like this. So like this. So I've made a bunch of them. I'm going to make another batch here. What we start with is take these capsules and you pull them apart. You put the small end, and remember this, the smaller side of the capsule machine. And then you just load the large end of the capsule, it's hard to see, into one of the slots on the large end. And you can see there's 24 holes here, 24 holes here. You're basically pulling apart and loading. So I'll get going on that. This is definitely a labor-intensive kind of thing to encapsulate your own herbs, but I think it's worth it. So I just ran across a capsule that was damaged, that was kind of smashed, and you don't want to load those because they won't come out right. So let me see if I can position this camera a little bit better for us too. Okay, so as I load these capsules, let me tell you a little bit more about what's in this formulation. So as I said, it's a heat reducing formula, and it has one of the basic 3 herb churnas, which is just a word for like a like a powdered mixture. And that is CCF. Cumin, coriander, and fennel is what the CCF stands for. And those you're probably all very familiar with, are really simple, easily accessible kitchen herbs. And they have wonderful properties for assisting with digestion, and specifically with bringing heat and acidity down. So if you're the kind of person that suffers from frequent heartburn, upset stomach in that kind of way, CCF is a real good basic blend. So that's the main component of this formula, and then there are some other things going on too. So now you see what I was just doing there is once I load these in, oops, they still kind of stick out a little bit, and I just push them so they're flush with the top of this. Let's see that I have them all in. Yes, all 24 are loaded, and all 24 of the tops are loaded. So then the next thing I do is I take my already blended powdered formula. And I'm gonna scoop up some with this plastic. It kind of looks like a credit card. It comes with the capsule machine. And it's just like a scraper to help you scrape the herb, flatten it out in these round wells. So I just take a good amount and dump it into here. And then I wanna smooth this card back and forth over the top so that it starts to load these circular cells. And then once it looks like it's loaded, I'm gonna go and take this, which is the tamper. See, it's got those little push buttons in it that align perfectly with these cells. And I'm gonna go ahead and just gently push it down a little bit. And what it does is it creates space then in those cells again for a little bit more herb. So we're just kind of pushing down the herb to get a good dose as much as possible in there and really utilize each of these capsules. And I only usually do that like once or twice. Once I have it in, I'm gonna do a tiny bit more really lightly. And again, use my card and go over and smooth it until all of these capsule cells are filled. See? They're all nice and smooth. And then I'm gonna just brush out the excess into my bowl. And now if you overload those cells and you keep using the tamper and pushing down repetitively and keep jamming it, you'll notice when you go to connect these sides, they don't wanna connect. It gets all jammed, it's too much. So tamping once or twice and then adding a little bit more herb is really all you should be doing with this. Otherwise, you're overfilling it. And if you don't tamp at all, you're underfilling it. And you'll see that because when you take out the capsules, there will be a lot of air space. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that top end. Remember, these were all the small parts of the capsule. So they're still empty. And then I have my full bottom parts, and you can see from underneath. See, those are all nice and full. And what I'm gonna do is they line up and I connect them together. Okay, there's still some space there. And then I flip it upside down and I start to push these end ones into the above ones. So you can see my hand placement changes a little bit. And then I use my thumbs to gently push till I feel them kind of connect with their tops. It's nothing too forceful, but you might have to, you know, get a little creative there with pushing them down. Then I kind of flatten over my thumb till I kind of hear, it's not like a snap, but it kind of clicks, you can tell. If you haven't pushed enough, when you go to separate this now, you'll have two separate parts and you'll have some herb filling out or falling out. Mine feel like I pressed them pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do is separate these two parts gently. See, they're all pushed down now. And there we go. There's the herbs filled. You could see from the long part to the bottom part. And they all came out nice and clean. Like I said, sometimes they don't come out clean either because you overfilled them or because maybe it was a damaged capsule. Don't use those damaged capsules. So if you've done that, just pop it out, start over, you know, just don't fill that cell. You can still utilize the other ones. Just because one gets damaged, it doesn't ruin the whole tray. So then I'm gonna go over to my bowl of already done capsules. I'm going to push with my thumb from the bottom part, the small part, to just drop those in there. And these are already put together, 00 size herbal capsules. And that's how it's done. It's as simple as that. This is a super useful tool if you want to custom blend even your own formulas. You get some bulk herb and you want to take it in capsule form and you really don't want to go through buying it. Just a lot of times, mostly for customization is why this is so easy. It's not necessarily always more economical, but you do get exactly the herbs that you want. So for example, in this formula, I already said there's the CCF, but then I also have burdock root, or no, not burdock in this one. I have dandelion root and milk thistle, which are two alternative herbs for blood cleansing and supporting the liver. So they're really heat reducing and they help support the action already of that CCF and of being an overall pitta reducing formula. So for me to be able to get that level of customization, to be able to do this is really nice. Otherwise, this client would have to go to the health food store or a distributor, buy cumin, buy coriander, buy fennel, buy the dandelion root and the milk thistle. And, you know, 5 different herbs, 5 different bottles. It's just kind of a pain. This is easier. And it's kind of fun too. I really do enjoy doing this. And I hope everyone learned a little bit from this video. Stay tuned for the next one.